not gonna lie to you, I'm only 38 pages in and I'm scared half to death. Hi, my name is Preslin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy Black History Month. Here are 5 books that I am currently reading by Black authors that I think you would also enjoy reading to highlight and to celebrate Black History Month. The first is Yellow Wife by Sadiqa Johnson. Now, before I even talk about this book, you have to get into Sadiqa Johnson, the author. I have never, in all my 33 years of living, read a book where an author put such good use of ink to paper. Every word that I read in his book, it felt intentional. I cannot tell you the last time I read a book that felt that way. It was and it was concise. She didn't use like huge words. Yellow Wife is a book that focuses on the main character, Phoebe. Phoebe is a slave, however, she is promised freedom on her 18th birthday. The complete opposite happens. She is sold to Devil's Main Acre. It's a jail in Virginia. And I am going to stop there because if I tell you anything else, I'm going to give something away that I fear you may want to learn on your own. This was such a good book. I started Sunday night and we had a snow day, so I finished it up Monday morning. This was such a phenomenal book. If you're local to the Raleigh area, she is coming to Quail Ridge Bookstore. It's an independent bookstore in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you just stop the video right here and you do not listen to any other recommendations, just go get this book. It's that simple. Now, this book was really interesting. It's sort of like a murder mystery, I guess you could say. It follows the main character, Sydney. Sydney was living in California and her grandmother passed away. So her mom said, hey, could you come down to Raleigh, North Carolina? Let's pack up grandma's house so we can get it ready for sale. Cool. Sydney comes down. She's clearing out her grandma's drawers and she finds this picture of this woman. And she's like, whoa, me and this woman has really striking features. Like, she has really striking features. She looks so much like me, but I've never seen her before in my life. As she discovers this picture in the drawer, there's a knock at the door. When she answers the door, it's her late grandmother's friend. And she's like, oh, I see you found the picture of your Aunt Carol in a drawer. And she was like, Aunt Carol? Who's Aunt Carol? She was like, you don't know who your Aunt Carol was? She went missing like years ago, and no one ever found out what happened or what may have been the cause of her going missing, or we don't know any details of it. We just know years ago she went missing. Sydney goes on a wild goose chase to try to figure out what happened to her Aunt Carol and unpack all these details. And it's really, really good. I would for sure say it's a 5-star read, for sure, without a doubt. Once you pick it up, you're not going to want to put it down. And she finishes off amazingly. It's one of those books that you're like, yes, it's going to surprise you. The ending is going to surprise you. It's really good. What's funny is I went to a college in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I also have an Aunt Carol. So it's like, why am I reading a murder mystery with so many things in common? I don't know. But after you get Yellow Wife, you have to get this one. You would really, really enjoy it. The next book, and this also goes into the historical fiction category, honestly leaning over to horror. And if you watch my last video, you know that one of my goals of 2026 is to read books of various genres. And y'all, I've never, ever, ever read a horror book before. I don't even watch scary movies. I am easily scared. It doesn't take much for me. You know those little AI career photos that are going around right now? Listen, those give me the creeps a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm only 38 pages in and I'm scared half to death. But so far, this book follows the main character, Robert. And Robert is a child. I believe at this point in the book, he is not older than 12, if I'm not mistaken. But Robert and his older sister, Gloria, are walking down the street. And as they're walking down the street, this white guy approaches and starts flirting with Gloria. And it makes her very, very uncomfortable. However, this is Jim Crow South. And Robert and Gloria are both Black. And so when he makes Gloria feel uncomfortable, Robert kicks him. So the person who he kicks, his dad sees this from afar and he's like, did he kick you? And he's like, yeah. So the dad, boxes Robert's ears so much to the point that he bleeds, right? And you think that would be the end of it. No, that's not the end of it. The following day, Robert gets arrested for kicking someone, and a judge sentenced him to 6 months in a reformatory. I don't know what the reformatory entails. All I know is that in the book it says that's not a place where Black people want to be. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. So I'm only on page 38, like I said. There are 570 pages in this book. I will update you on the next video to let you know how it goes. But I'm not going to lie to you. Of all the books that I'm reading right now, this is the one that I'm most intimidated by. The next book that I'm actually listening to is Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson. Now, if Charmaine Wilkerson, that name sounds familiar to you, you may be familiar with her book Black Cake. Now, Black Cake has a TV adaptation on Hulu right now, and it's actually a pretty good series. I was kind of sad that they didn't come around for season 2. And I have to say, since most of these are in the genre of historical fiction, they're all the trigger warnings, all of these things are set in 1800s, so you know slavery was happening during that time. So all the trigger warnings, I just want to prepare you for that. Good Dirt follows the story of Ebby Freeman. At 10 years old, Ebby was the victim of a home invasion. Her and her brother, who was 5 years older than her, was home alone, and someone broke into their home and they ended up killing her older brother. So not only did they kill her older brother, but they had a family heirloom, what was in their generation for years. It was called Omo, and it was this jar. And not only was her brother killed at the time, but they also the jar was shattered, and so the shattering of that jar that was in their family for so many generations becomes synonymous with the grief and the hardships and the turmoil that the main character Edie Freeman goes throughout the story. So if you've ever read Yaa Gyasi's Homegoing, it's very similar in how the lineage goes from generation to generation to generation. I actually only have a few hours left of the book. I'm looking forward to how it ends. It's very it gives like triumphant, a little bit of overlooking into grief, but how you can't outrun your problems, you know? So you always have to face yourself, and you always have to face your problems of the past. So far I'm enjoying it. It's not scary at all, but it is historical fiction. Finally, I cannot stray from my old ways. Sweet Heat. As you know, I am a romance girly. There's not a romance book that I've read that I have not enjoyed. Sweet Heat is no different. However, it is a slow burn. So Sweet Heat follows the story of Kiki. Kiki is the main character here. And what's funny is this story is based in London. So there's a lot of banter, and it's very humorous book. Like there are definitely some moments that I laughed out loud. But there's some slang like pang, like it's very London. Like I enjoy that part of the book. But anyway, so it follows the main story of Kiki. Kiki is in a relationship with this guy, and it's giving stale, boring, settling. I don't know why I'm with this guy, but it's good enough, so I'm going to stay here. So something happens in the story where her and Stale Guy go their separate ways, and then Kiki's old flame comes back into the story. Now, old flame, I'm on page 183, and I don't even know why her and old flame broke up. They apparently he was her first love, he was her first everything. However, something went down to where those two broke up, and she ended up with Stale Guy. Okay. Now, present day, Kiki's best friend is getting married, so her old flame is coming into town because they have mutual friends. He's going to come in town for the engagement party. So when he comes into town, him and Kiki see each other for the first time in a long time, and it is sparks. Sparks just poof, 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 poof. Sparks is just flying. So that's where I'm at in the story. I'm at the part in the story where Stale Guy is out, old flame is in, and now they're, discussing what happened. So again, very romantical, very cute, but a slow burn. So these are 5 books that I read or in the process of reading to celebrate and to highlight Black History Month. I hope that you are also reading books written by Black authors. If you have any suggestions for me to read, I would love to do so. Please place them in the comments below. And I look forward to the next video. Bye.